on tonight we'll have Wildcat Hall. This working tonight by our parents, Ronnie and Chad, siblings Justin and Jader, and grandparents like Susan, Sue, Christy, and Ted. He spent 7 years in the volleyball program, 2 years on varsity. She says her future plans are to get NIC for a year and get all her prereqs done and advance Wildcat Community College to get into their medical sonography program. I want to thank my parents for always supporting me in my games and pushing me to be my best to succeed. Also my brothers for coming to my games and cheering very loud. I would also like to thank Coach Steph and Coach Crystal for making me a better player, for always being there for all of us if we need anything. I am thankful for the bond I have with my teammates and with the friends I have made playing volleyball. Jezreel Hall. Next senior will be Olivia Derbyshire. She was supported tonight by her mother, Christina, dad, Mark, sisters Grace, Lucy, and Rachel, Uncle Kevin, Reese, Tobin, and Grandma and Grandpa. Number of years with the volleyball program has been 6, first year on varsity. She plans on attending BSU in the fall and major in psychology. She wants to thank her friends and family and coaches I've had throughout the years. Olivia Derbyshire. Our next senior will be Caitlin Pipkin. She was supported today by her mother Jen, her father Tom, and sister Madison. She's been 6 years with the Wildcat volleyball program, 2 years on varsity. I plan to study education at the University of Idaho and become an elementary school teacher. I would like to thank my mom and dad for pushing me to do better in everything and giving me the motivation to work harder and meet my goals. Without their endless love and support, I wouldn't be the person I am now. I would also like to thank my coaches, Steph, Crystal, Casey, and my teammates for pushing me every day during the season to be motivated, persistent, committed, and competitive. I couldn't be more appreciative of the love given to me throughout the sport, and I will be forever grateful. Caitlin Pipkin. The next senior will be Alyssa Million. She was supported tonight by Ellen and her mom, Rolene. She's been with 3 years of the volleyball program. She plans to go to NIC to do the basics, and after that, she plans to do a teaching program to become an elementary school teacher. I want to say thank you to Stephanie and the team for allowing me to be a part of the team. Elizabeth Kellerall. Next senior is Carly Pearson. She was supported tonight with the little sister Becca, her mom Stacy, and her dad Sean. She's been 6 years with the Wildcat volleyball program, first year on varsity. I plan on attending Boise State University in the fall and major in biology. First, I'd like to thank all my coaches, but especially Coach Gruder for always believing in me and pushing me to be a better teammate and player. I would also like to thank all of the teammates I've had over the past 4 years at KHS. I feel so blessed to be part of something special and to be surrounded by such amazing support from all the girls in the program. I'm grateful I got to grow and lead and learn alongside these girls over the years. And I can't wait to see what's in store for all of us as we start this next chapter. Carly Pearson. The next senior is Lee Reed. Grandma Leanne Reed. She's been 6 years in the volleyball program and 1.5 years on varsity. She plans to attend Kellogg, Idaho, and commit to the track team while pursuing a biomedical sciences and a pre-med study. She wants to thank her coaches and teammates for pushing me to improve my volleyball skills every day, and thank you to my parents for the continued support. I'll also be grateful for being a part of such an amazing volleyball program. Kay Reed. nephew. Years playing volleyball has been 5, a number of years on varsity too. I plan on going to school to become an English teacher and journalist. I would like to thank all the teachers I've had throughout my high school career. But I would especially like to thank Mr. Camberley for always putting a smile on my face and encouraging me to work hard on the things I want to accomplish. I would like to thank all the coaches I have ever had for helping me grow as an athlete, but also as an individual. I would also like to thank my teammates, friends, and family for helping sculpt me into the person I am today. Thank you to my mom, Cheryl Bryant, for never ceasing to believe that I can do anything I want to do, and showing what pure strength looks like. And last but not least, thank you to Brian Shearer, my physical therapist, for helping strengthen my body throughout my athletic career, and always encouraging me to strengthen my body and pushing myself to the limit. Thank you, Ryan. Next senior, Grace Mary. She was supported by her father, Jeff Mary, along with Deanna Mary, her brother, Craig Mary. She's been 8 years in the volleyball program, 4 years on varsity. Her plans are to go to Boise State University and get some sort of business degree. She wants to thank my family for always being my number one supporters, my coach Stephanie for making my high school volleyball experience memorable and fun, and lastly, Margaret Mitchell for getting me started and helping me along the way. Grace and Mary. Our last senior tonight, Katie Cheney. She was supported by her brother Lisa, her dad Brian, sister Patty, and brother Todd. She's been 7 or 8 years with the volleyball
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Josh McDonald alongside Simon Miller. We are here live at Andrews Gymnasium. Your host, Kellogg Wildcats, the Intermountain League champions, are taking on the Priest River Spartans. It is senior night. I also believe we've got like a rave theme going here. So if you see kids with neon colors and glow sticks and flashy lights and all that, just know that all of our home volleyball.
No foam planted. No foam planned to our knowledge.
As cool as that would be.
It'd be a great volleyball match.
Wildcats come in with riding a bit of a hot streak. Last week might have been as good a week for Kellogg Volleyball as any week. 4-0, including league wins over Timberlake, Bonners Ferry, Priest River, and Wallace.
Yep, and some road trips.
Got some road trips.
They're battle tested.
Road trips out of the way, a really emotional, big Dig Pink event last Saturday.
Yeah.
That's the first time in a long time I can remember a Saturday volleyball match here in Kellogg.
That was a day. That was basically a mini brawl for for as far as community goes.
It was excellent.
They're looking to run the table tonight, right, Josh? IML, clean slate so far.
I believe they have not lost an IML match in 3 years now, Simon.
Sounds about right.
So Wildcats will serve first. Grace Nearing, the senior.
Senior night.
Serving, and a good hit there. Wildcats keep it in play, and Caitlin Pipkin into the net.
I believe we are seniors all the way across. I don't know. I think you mentioned that, Josh. But
we are seniors all the way across, including number 20, Jesse Hall, number 4, Grace Nearing, number 9, Caitlin Pipkin, 15, Haley Cheney, number 1, Faith Bryant, and number 13, Carly Pearson. So those are your Wildcat starters. And
pretty cool that they're able to do that, huh?
Yeah.
Get them all out there.
It is fantastic.
Nice
and on the
tribute
other
by
side,
Coach Bruner.
Woo!
Yeah, I don't know if Priest River's is excited about that front line, but that's going to be what they're going to have to face tonight. And Priest River, a lot of youth, Josh.
Yeah, they are a young team. As we've recently learned, this is their final year in the 3As. They'll be making the drop to 2A next year. The numbers game finally caught up to them as Faith Bryant and Haley Cheney just met a Spartan at the net there. And starting for the Spartans, number 4, a senior, Anna Rose, the lone senior on the team. She's joined out there by Addison Kingery, number 12. She's a junior. Desiree Humphrey, number 6. She's a freshman. Allison Barton, number 9, a sophomore. And the libero, Abigail Shockey, who is a junior.
A little bit of youth, but we got some juniors in there as well that are seasoned. So.
And very evident miscommunication there.
You got all your seniors out there, so you might have a few in a different rotation spot. Now they're starting to sub a little bit, but so you're going to maybe see a little bit of that miscommunication, misfire. That's a great serve.
And the Wildcats have several seniors. Kay Reed now on the floor for the Wildcats, also a senior. So she comes in as part of the first rotation there. So Wildcats.
Is that 5? Is that White serving for Priest River? That's a heck of a serve if she's got more where that came from.
Helena White, she's a sophomore as that one goes into the net there.
Boy, you can tell it had some velocity, though. If she ever gets that where it's consistent, look out.
Into the game for the Wildcats, number 12, Maddie Cheney, the sister of senior and Northwest Nazarene University commit Haley Cheney. Also happens to be the reigning IML MVP, and I would say likely
she's got to be the favorite, right?
Her or Grace Nearing?
Her or Grace. Maybe co-MVPs. I don't know if they do that, do they?
Oh, they did last year, actually. Haley and Brooke Jessen were co-MVPs.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
From Timberlake. But I truly do believe that as great as Haley is, the sum of Haley's success has been tied to Grace Nearing.
Absolutely.
And we've seen what happens when they don't have one another. It gets a little sloppy for both of them. They're both able to play through it, but realistically, Grace and Haley are incredible tandem.
Yeah, so it's been a while since I've seen a 1-2 punch like that feed off of one of another so well like these two do.
Long hit there. That was Anna Rose came from the outside there. But yeah, that tandem has been just absolutely devastating for the rest of the league for the last 3 years, really. Little trick shot over the net, and Maddie Cheney is going to get called for the carry there. So Wildcats trailing early, 6-5, and
Hey, Priest River came to play. That's been impressive.
we've seen this in the past though. Jump ball, Wildcats, I believe, get the point there. That was Haley Brooks or Zoe Brooks.
Zoe Brooks, yeah.
Meeting Rose at the net.
Ty has told us, Josh, that it is neon night.
Neon night. That's
So,
a
makes
lot
sense.
more school appropriate than rave night,
I guess.
I guess.
So.
Now serving for the Wildcats, Carly Pearson. Kept alive. Oh, and a little miscommunication by the Spartans there.
I got to, I was doing some work up here last night, Josh, on some of our equipment, and got to just kind of eavesdrop on the Wildcat practice, and pretty impressive how hard they work.
It's a intense practice. I had a chance, while you were up here working, I was kind of fluttering about, and I had a conversation with Coach Steph Batchelder and her assistant Crystal Luna, and it really is. I mean, Steph might be she is the figurehead of the team and the team's leader, but in Crystal Luna, former varsity coach herself, little dive, not enough to make the play there. In Crystal Luna and Steph, they have such a cohesion that while we're having this conversation, and it's a pretty in-depth conversation, Crystal would turn and look, see what's going on, and call out what the switch and drills need to be.
Right.
And it was almost militant how the girls went from one thing to the other, and at times almost seemed like they were competing against each other with ill intentions.
Right.
Like that's how hard they go against one another.
That's the best way to get better, is to compete.
Woo! Grace Nearing, it was blocked, but it stayed on the Priest River side of the net.
I'll get another go at it here.
Nice set here, and there's that left hand from Maddie Cheney that nobody seems to understand how to block from the mid-range.
Ooh, see, that was a heat seeker.
Nice set.
volley here, yeah.
Woo! Good hit by Caitlin Pipkin.
How about these Priest River girls
double
taking
hit.
all of that, though, and just digging and getting it back over? Very impressive with this young team.
So let's shout out Zoe Brooks right there. Zoe Brooks is a sophomore who began this season, was pulled up as a floater, and is now making serious strides as a very valuable part of this roster.
Yeah.
And right there, watching her pass.
And looks confident.
When you have someone who is passing, doing the job that Grace Nearing normally does, and doing it well. I mean, those were great. Oh, that I think caught the Wildcats a little bit by surprise.
Yep, she found the hole in the floor, that's for sure.
Looks like she went up almost with intentions to set the ball, and then at the last minute saw a hole and just went with it.
Yeah, these Spartans are hanging in there. I'm very impressed with their resiliency and their grit. They now are just down one.
This was a three-set sweep by the Wildcats last week on that beautiful court they have up in Priest River. Oh, that floor is something special.
Yeah, it is. That's a great-looking floor.
It really is. And Wildcats would like to continue their run.
Look at that setup right there.
Oh, my goodness.
I'll tell you what, Josh, Brooks started that.
Yep.
She did a great job. Got that. I mean, Grace Nearing didn't have to move an inch.
Watch that replay real quick. Should be coming
Yeah,
here.
comes right off that serve. She passes it perfectly.
Good.
Right there.
The pass, and then Haley just sends it into oblivion. Back live here. Oh, almost blocked, and we're going to get, I believe, a net violation. Wildcats in the net. I believe that was going against Haley Cheney.
Yeah, sometimes you get just a little off balance there. Of course, Haley's so capable of blocking and hitting basically any ball. That's going to come right back to the Wildcats. Again, you mentioned, Josh, Haley committing to NNU. Interesting tidbit. Haley's mom played basketball at NNU, so that's kind of a cool connection for the Cheney family, the Schramm-Cheney family.
That is a cool connection, and I would not be surprised if Haley wasn't a multi-sport athlete.
Sure, it's possible, yes.
And that's located down in Boise, correct?
Yeah. Boise Nampa area. Yeah.
Boise Nampa area as the Spartans pick up the double hit penalty there. Caitlin Pipkin now serving for the Wildcats, and an opportunity to really kind of put this first set out of reach. And,
oh boy, got caught in no man's land there.
That was a heck of a serve by Pipkin. Came right down off the net and just right at number 4 there, whose hands were not ready to set or dig that one out.
And she did it again. She says, you're going to get more of those until you get it back over.
Yeah, if you're going to stand right there, be prepared. So back-to-back excellent serves from Pipkin, who is very much picking on a rose right now.
Good to see some of the Wildcats with their serve game on point tonight.
Ooh, a little dump set over the net by the Spartans, and
yikes.
Cheney blocked but out of bounds.
Josh, that thing just off the deflection had heat to it.
Yeah. I respect the effort there, though, to meet Cheney at the top there.
Absolutely.
When you high point Cheney like that, you better be ready to play. And Pipkin right now is serving a very nasty looking ball.
Yeah, she is.
They're struggling to keep this one in play.
Like the chemistry out there right now with that front line of Bryant, Cheney, and
this is an all-senior rotation again.
Yeah, the seniors are back.
Cheney kind of went off almost a delay there. The volleyball equivalent of a QB draw. Nice hit by Bryant.
She really set herself there. That was nice.
Blocked by Cheney. Cheney's right there to keep it in play. Kay Reed with the hustle play. And Bryant misjudged where that ball was landing.
It seems to me like the most frustrating part of volleyball, you know, you can be outmatched, you can have somebody that's got a great serve, but that iffy ball towards the net where you're like, do I need to go get that, or is it going to, then it bounces back awkwardly off the net. It's just always chaos.
If you're not on the middle line there like that official is, you don't know what direction that ball is going to tumble off the net. And even if it is favoring one side or the other, wow, what a serve.
What do you call that, Josh? Is that your lead balloon
the old
right
lead
there?
balloon, baby. Even if you have the momentum on your side, if there's a little bit of back English on that ball, whoop, whoop, whoop. I mean, Honor Rose wanted to play that one into the bench, but I don't know.
Josh, I have one concern about this serve of Haley's. I'm having flashbacks from 2 years ago at Lake City High School with the bleachers put back as much as they could be.
I went replay on the last one. We can go replay on that one. That one dropped.
Can Haley do that serve when she's got the bleachers behind her like that?
To be completely honest with you, Simon, I think one of the best things in the world for this volleyball team right now, especially Haley's serving, is that there will likely not be any fans allowed down on that bottom level.
Right.
I believe with COVID protocols and restrictions, good block.
I'll just go in the upper bowl or something.
If they keep everyone in the upper bowl and those bleachers are in, that should allow for Haley to have all the room that she needs to work. Ooh, and that one just out.
She had the spin on it, though.
And the concession stand workers are going home with a souvenir.
Oh, Coach Miller, good job there by Coach Miller, right on the spot.
Fun fact about Coach Miller, he is a published author.
I did know that, yes.
I did not until today. I have to pick up a new book, I guess.
Yep, and I've heard it. I have not read it yet, but I've heard good things about it.
I have heard good things as well. Wildcats leading 22-12 right now. Very much on the back of Caitlin Pipkin and Haley Cheney serving death.
Good effort there by Bryant. Just couldn't quite get underneath there.
And now the Spartans will take control. So a couple serves go their way here would be a big deal for these Spartans. Serving, and that is going,
Oh, that's going to be a carry. Boy, they let her get away with that.
Yeah, that one.
That was almost like saving it from going, oh, the net crawler.
That was amazing. Good pass here, and
dump.
Cold. That is cold.
Cold-blooded. Wonder if I waited too long to get that replay. Let's see.
I want to get Grace.
Oh, I didn't. Look at this. Oh, jeez.
Oh, and they caught watching. The Terminator strikes.
Is it 23 or 24? Maybe it is 23.
23. We took the.
All right, you're right.
Yeah, we are Game point.
Josh, I noticed when we played, I'll think of that after this serve here.
Great serve by Brooks. Brooks playing well. And we're going to get a double hit here, I believe. And that'll do it. Set number one goes to the Wildcats, 25-13. We're going to take a little break. We'll be back with set number two. Thanks for watching Wildcats Live.
Purple and gold through and through. Shoshone Glass has been serving the home and auto glass and glazing needs of the Silver Valley and North Idaho for more than 50 years. With 3 generations of family expertise and community loyalty, they have a well-earned reputation for hard work and excellence. No matter what your needs, you can rest easy knowing that your project will be handled quickly and professionally. From energy-efficient windows and sliding glass doors to bath enclosures and mirrors and a comprehensive auto glass service as well. Let the experts at Shoshone Glass take care of your home, auto, and business needs by calling 208-783-1159 or going to shoshoneglass.com. Go Wildcats! From plywood to paint, tools to trim, they have it all, or they can order it in just a few days' time. Kellogg Lumber Company is a veteran-owned business that has been supplying the Silver Valley with quality building materials to contractors, builders, and homeowners for 4 generations. Personal service and knowledgeable staff make Kellogg Lumber the right choice for your next project. With 50 years buying experience, let Steve and the knowledgeable crew at Kellogg Lumber use their many well-established vendors to source the materials you need for the right price and delivered on time. Kellogg Lumber, more than just lumber for 4 generations. Hometown proud sponsors of Kellogg Wildcat Athletics and Wildcats Live.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Set number 2 underway. Josh McDonald and Simon Miller bringing you the action here at Andrews Gymnasium. Wildcats took set number 1, 25-13. And picking right up where they left off is Haley, the Stone Cold Killer Cheney.
The Nearing to Cheney connection is
lethal,
and it's clicking optimally tonight. And that's good to see. You know, you want them playing our best volleyball around districts and state, right?
I mean, we are coming down the stretch, and if you follow the Shoshone News Press, my day job.
Nice plug.
You see the sports wrap, you will watch Coach Steph Batchelder. Her comments always start at the beginning of the season. Well, we definitely have some tuning up that we can do.
Sure.
Especially when they get a win. They'll get a win. You know what? I was pleased that we got the win. But I definitely think there's more. I can get more. And every time it's more. To the point where they might win like they did the other day against Wallace. That was pretty dominant against the team that had beaten them.
3 quick sets.
You know, a month prior. And even then, hey, I was pleased with the energy, but I still think I can get more.
Coach is always coach, man.
I think Steph Batchelder is my favorite coach in the Kellogg sports program because there is a gritty, no-nonsense, almost like an aggressive, like she almost is coaching not only against the team she's playing, but at times coaching against herself.
I think what you're saying, and I get it too. I think she gets a lot out of her players and still relates to them.
Yes.
Because I think you can go too far the other way, as some people can, right?
Yeah.
And they think they're getting everything out of their players, but their players might be miserable. You
Right.
know, like, okay, you're really good, but this should be fun too. And I think she has that mix of always striving for better and demanding better, but also being a good player's coach.
Somewhere
as well.
between Hoosiers and Varsity Blues,
Uh-huh.
you have Steph, who is definitely more on the Hoosiers side, but the same kind of intensity.
Well, it's funny you say that, Josh, because one of our favorite all-time viewers, Stacy Hoffman, said, "Nice serving tonight, Caitlin." Reminds her a lot of Coach Steph's high school serving. Same cool as a cucumber look, same get up there and do it over and over, just like she used to. So there's people kind of getting some props here for Coach Batchelder. I almost said Bruner again.
It's tough.
It's going to take me a while.
I struggle with it too. But I also had the, you had the privilege of teaching her. I had the privilege
did.
of graduating with her. She very much represents and reps the class of 2007 very proudly. And I am just happy that I get to watch her do something that she's obviously incredible at.
Absolutely. We're really fortunate. I at that coaches meeting yesterday, I think we really have a pretty exceptional slate of coaches across the board.
I feel very thankful that you included me in that.
I believe that. I believe what Coach Martin and your program is doing. I think it's a good relationship. I think it's good chemistry. I think Coach Martin also brings a couple of assistants that blend in really well and are just basketball junkies. I like the direction that's going. Coach Miller and the wrestling, those guys are always working their tails off.
Coach Miller is captivating when he speaks. When he speaks, you listen.
Oh, you go in that wrestling room, it's
Talk
it's
about
like being in a boxing gym, kind of.
Yeah, but almost a quiet intensity at times. But yeah, no, we are spoiled here. We are spoiled here. Obviously, we couldn't talk about this without talking about the 3A Coach of the Year, Mr. Simon Miller. Congratulations on your.
Thank you very much on that. I immediately, my gut reaction or my initial reaction is that's an award that I'm going to share with Danny Kenyon and Kayla Monroe, like we were talking about, having coaches and assistants. Coach Luna to Coach Batchelder, you to Coach Martin. I could not do what I do without Danny, Bulldog Kenyon, and Kayla Monroe. They're just two exceptional people and wonderful coaches, and it's just awesome to be around that program. I love our program.
Speaking of which, when is that our newest white banner going up in the gym here?
That's a good question. We've got some, we know our maintenance guys are
Busy.
doing what they can do, and the snow's getting ready to fly, and they're working on thermostats and heaters and running water and things like those. Things are important, yes. So we're working on figuring out how we can crowdsource a little bit, get the other golf championship up, and also we want to get these, I call them banners, but I guess some people call them pennants.
Yes.
Getting the rest of these pennants put up in a similar fashion to the ones that are up now as part of a concept. And if you have any resources of anybody that might have some experience hanging cable from steel beams, somebody must have done this one before. It might have been our maintenance, but we would we're interested now in looking to see if we can get maybe a work party and getting those up. We want to get those displayed. So Andrew's Gym, we need to get it.
It's all coming together.
It is.
The bleachers.
Yep.
We started with, we redid our floor about, 8-9 years ago. And the two-toned wood and the new bleachers and everything. If we can get those banners up.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, the aesthetic here, the only thing that we'll need after that is the skywalk.
Yeah, you're right.
Above the south end hoop that Simon and I were just chatting about.
I think we might have to move some air handlers, but we could work on that. Maybe we can get a grant for some VIP skybox on the south end of Andrews.
Woo! And once again, nearing to Cheney.
Wildcats are cooking.
They kind of get going. They get on a roll. They start finding that chemistry. They find that rhythm, and then Grace starts smiling, and then everyone should start panicking because
got away from
maybe
her a
Grace
little bit.
smiled a little too much there. Go back to frowning for a second, Grace.
But there's a lot of influence. You talk about kind of legacy, Josh, and Deanna nearing Burmester played was one of those teams we talked about back in the day that made it to state. The Cardiac Kids, the Cardiac Cats is what their nickname was. But another of their teammates was Carla Regina. It's Carla Mitchell now. And you heard during senior night those girls mention Carla. And she's played a huge role in the development of these girls, Haley and Grace, and a lot of these girls that play club volleyball. And a lot of that goes to Carla Mitchell. Regina is her maiden name. And those gals played some pretty amazing volleyball as well. And it's good to see it continue a generation later.
Is that the sister-in-law of our former varsity coach, Holly?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, a lot of connections there. And guess what? Look out for Paige and Ella Regina coming up. You can bet they're going to have some volleyball in their genes. So.
Yes. Oh, my goodness, that was a fun one to watch as Kay Reed goes up and gets a little bit of a block and just put it just right. And we're going to get a timeout here. Looks like Priest River's going to take a timeout. Check out that replay here. Goes up, Kay right there.
Nice job by Kay. She's coming along too.
Kay has improved. If there, we don't do a most improved player, which really bums me out because I do think in our league, it really is a matter of every year the coaches know who their studs are going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be about who brings the most.
Watching your basketball boys down here work the crowd for the 50-50. They're counting their cash out in the bleachers.
Counting money like a bunch of bookies down here.
It looks like they're playing craps down here in the bleachers.
That's fantastic. If I see a pair of dice come out, I might have to put my headset down. But
I'm sure this is on the up and up here. These guys they're working on their math skills, working on their finance, their odds, and their fundraising. It's all for a good cause. So
yeah, Kellogg basketball.
That's right.
So I was telling you something and I can't remember now.
Most improved. We were talking about.
Oh, most improved.
Well, why don't we have an award? Let's call it the Wildcats Live Most Improved. Josh, talk us through it.
It's got to be Kay Reed this year for me as just a valuable contributor. I mean, there's a lot of great players on the Wildcats, but I think in terms of the one who is,
oh my goodness, talk about teamwork.
Good thing the hospital's right down the road. But
yeah.
In the 3A level, coaches kind of know. Like, you know every year who the guys are going to be.
Sure.
And it's all about that coach who figures out, oh, man, well, where did that kid come from? Or, man, last year he didn't do anything, and now he's, or now she's doing something. Like, that's really what it is. And I think this year for the Wildcats, Kay Reed is that person who, like, they knew that Haley and Maddie Cheney were going to be a wall. They knew Grace could put the ball wherever they needed to. They knew Emily Coe and Macy Jerome were
up-and-coming freshmen and sophomores.
As good of players last year as any that could have gone and played on any team in this league and been contributors. What they didn't expect is that there was another near 6-foot player on the Wildcats who was going to come in and become just a devastating part of this front line for the Wildcats.
So I would agree with you, Josh, because while you're talking through that, I'm looking down the bench here of the Wildcats. I'm watching Jesse Hall, who has improved. I'm watching Bryant, who has improved. I'm watching all these girls that, they've all improved a little bit. And I think that Kay Reed, from where she started at the beginning of the season and where she's at now, I think that level of improvement is the most. And that's why we call it the most improved. So I am going to second Coach McDonald's nomination of Kay Reed for the first Wildcats Live Most Improved Athlete for Volleyball 2021. Kay Reed, congratulations. We don't know what your prize is, but you're getting a shout out tonight. You are pretty inspirational, and you've come a long way, and good to see you.
It's been fun to watch this year.
Succeeding, yep.
I mean, I am fully expecting to be watching this team for at least the next 2.5 weeks, and maybe even getting some broadcasting in along the way.
That would be great. That was a lot of fun.
There's something to be said about calling a state tournament. It just makes you feel it makes you feel good. And you know what? Shout out, because I also would not mind having the struggle of having to keep tabs on our neighbors down the street from Wallace.
Oh, sure.
Who I truly do feel are right there in terms of the 1As, man. That's a good team.
You know what I could do without, though, Josh? If I could have my way, I could do without. What did we do? 3 games or 2 games? We did 2 games that day, and then we went back and did football.
We did 3 games that day.
Yeah, and then did football. That was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fun, but it was. I could maybe do for a day in between there.
That was a football playoff game too.
Yeah,
it was against Teton.
Teton brought it to us, but it was fun nonetheless.
Yeah, one of those nights where you went home and probably got the best sleep of your life because you were just so tired.
Oh yeah.
Wildcats are cruising right now. It's 21-8 and 22-8. I'm sorry.
They are making quick work of it. That's for sure. It's always bittersweet, right? You don't want it to be a nail biter, really. You want to dominate. When you dominate, it's quicker.
Volleyball is that sport, though. Like, the one thing I can appreciate about it is when you're watching a basketball game that's going this way, you just want it to be over. You're watching football, it's like this. You just want it to be over. It gets exhausting. You start to almost like, hey, let's see if we can get something out of the other team here. Volleyball, you have the ability to, for lack of a better term, step on the throat and step until you're done.
Yep.
And I can appreciate that. There is a little bit more killer instinct with this group of Wildcats than what I have seen in years past. And that's not any sort of shot at any of those former teams.
No.
I just believe that sometimes the mentality is different.
Well, that was one of the things at the practice I was at last night, and you were there as well. There came a point where I was up working and kind of listening while I was working, but Coach Luna got a little animated, and she maybe wasn't liking the level of whatever the drill was. She thought maybe they were just going through the motions a little bit, and she said there are X teams at state that we know of that will absolutely take advantage of you if you do that in a match. And so those coaches they're on top of it.
You know, I think it was put pretty well. Coach Jana Nearing said it yesterday in our coaches meeting. When we start getting into the state level, especially when you're looking at the Sugar Salems and the Snake Rivers,
Salem,
Kimberly. For every one, Haley Cheney and Grace Nearing, these teams, these big 3A teams down at the state level, especially Sugar Salem, they have 4 pairs of Grace Nearings and Haley Cheneys.
Well,
and it looks like the Wildcats are going to take set number 2, 25-10.
They're taking care of business while you and I are gabbing about state, so we can get ahead of ourselves, but we don't want them to.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with set number 3. Thanks for watching Wildcats Live.
Hail to the Wildcats. Enjoy it.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Josh McDonald, Simon Miller here at Andrews Gymnasium. Wildcats up 2-0 on the Priest River Spartans. It is senior night. It is neon night. It is Kellogg only giving up, I believe, 21 points this whole evening. So Wildcats.
So that'll be something Steph Batchelder talks about. It's going to be too many for her.
Sure, she's going to say, I really liked. It was an emotional night for senior night. These were the girls I started with. I started coaching here. A lot of them have been on varsity since they were freshmen, but I think I can get more out of them. And I'm happy with that because I still think she's not lying. She understands.
No, she's not just. Those aren't just empty words. Those are true. And
you have college athletes on your team, college level athletes. You know that you can get more out of them.
Yep.
And if there's anyone I trust to do that, I believe it is Coach Batchelder, because she coaches just like we talked about, with all the emotion in the world, while still maintaining a level of aggression that I think is respectable. I wonder if she ever gets in on practice. If she ever throws on the old shoes. And
there's Emily Coe in and Olivia Sawyer, so we're switching it up a little bit here now.
Coach Batchelder's really been running through her lineup, kind of sticking strong with the seniors, but peppering in one or two different players here and there.
Nice serve there, Madeline Rose. Shout out to you. There's that one floated. Anyway, nice little, she had a nice serve there to get them on the board, get them to 2 points.
I would assume Madeline and Anna are sisters, or at the very least cousins. Yeah. I don't know too many people that have the last name Rose outside of the people on a very funny TV show.
We got a couple of Roses and a couple of Whites. So
it is fun when we have families playing, and we've had the Bryant sisters playing off and on for the last few years, the Cheney sisters.
Oh, heck yeah. That's good stuff.
Siblings, and you see it in programs all over. That was very close. Wildcats kind of struggling early on, giving the Spartans a lot of points.
Josh, I wanted to, since you brought it to my attention back here, because I got the laptop to my back at times here. I might have to reposition how we do that sometimes, because got a little shout out there from Coach Kayla. And I won't talk about Coach Kayla too much. I don't want to get all emotional on the air, but Coach Danny and Coach Kayla are very special people to me. And Coach Kayla, wishing her the best of luck, because her fall season is for boys golf in Washington. So she's coaching the Rochester boys golf team and building a program of her own, and I have no doubt it will improve a bunch every season, and I'd be surprised if you don't see her working those head coach ranks and making impacts at state.
So do the girls play in the spring?
I think girls play in the spring. I used to think it was a classification, like Kellogg or like Idaho is looking to do, but maybe Coach Kayla can chime in and tell us if it is boys in the fall, girls in the spring. I think that's the way it is. A good friend of mine and also former Kellogg golf coach Ron Barker, who has several Washington State championships of his own. And their point system is a little bit different too, but he used to share with me of a lot of his stories. And I seem to remember the girls played in the spring.
Oh, okay.
But correct me if I'm wrong, Kayla. Maybe it's changed too. WIAA might have made some changes as well. So
Wildcats a little out of sorts here early on, but good hit there by Kay. Great hit by Kay, the Wildcats Live MIP.
Absolutely. I'm glad that I gotta get on. I need a few more hours in the day to add on so I can make some graphics. And I would have loved to have an NNU graphic for Haley Cheney so we could throw that up there. Maybe we'll have that ready I'll make that as a priority item for districts. We'll get that shout out up there for Haley.
And the Wildcats, by merit of winning the league for the 4th straight year, have earned the right to once again host every district match that they play.
That's right.
So we will be bringing you district coverage for the Wildcats from Andrews. I do think that the team might appreciate it if you make the jaunt out here yourself.
Absolutely. Get here if you can.
Good pass by Maddie Cheney. Good hit by Grace. And then
that Bryant?
Faith Bryant right there doing her best Haley Cheney impression.
But she was aggressive on that one. She really got up too. So that was pretty awesome.
Good serving by Carly Pearson. Carly Pearson the other day against Wallace if my memory serves, she is the one that kind of closed out that match
She did have quite a run.
on the back of like 3 or 4 really solid serves. Wildcats up 8-6. Haven't quite been able to pull away. Have left some points on the floor via their serving and some errors in just getting to the ball, but very firmly in control of this matchup right now. Nice serve there, played off the elbows of Faith Bryant. Haley Cheney getting a rare break. You don't see her come out very often. Wildcat faithful starting to get a little rowdy, and the school spirit this year has just been off the charts.
They're very spirited and faithful, coming every night
and getting into it and having a good time. We're going to get a double hit here.
I mean, you got football players in there, you got wrestlers, you got kids that are just part of the student body, you got cheerleaders, you got the band, of course. So I definitely agree. The level of school spirit is pretty impressive.
There is an aesthetic to playing in Andrews Gymnasium where if you are the home team, you have home court advantage, and I get a little almost emotional talking about it during basketball season, because I truly believe that on the nights where we have the pep band, the student section, the color guard, all of it, that there is no better home court advantage. I think it takes other teams just right out of it, and for us it's just absolutely steals our nerves. And I can't imagine playing or coaching anywhere else, because I feel like if I was to coach somewhere else and they didn't have an aesthetic like that, man, I'd be figuring out how to get an ROTC program with a color guard and a halfway decent pep band, because let's just be honest, Kellogg pep band, something that we've been so spoiled by.
Yeah, Woo! That was vertical. That ball went straight down.
Good luck.
And that deserves a full screen replay.
Full replay. Jesse Hall right now serving for the Wildcats and serving a little bit of lightning. That one drops right in over the net. Maddie Cheney passes it to Grace Nearing. Nearing is showing her prowess as a hitter.
She's
got him good there.
in attack mode tonight.
Maddie Cheney as a passer is kind of fun, though.
How about that? Going to the far side to Pipkin.
Pipkin at the net. And that's the thing, and I think Coach Batchelder expressed this to me last night. She's almost in a position, she has to get her roster down to 12 players. She's only allowed to roster 12 players for state, which means she's got some tough decisions to make. And imagine having the problem that you don't know who you can tell, like you don't know where you're going to trim. There's not a weak link.
No, and you look down that bench there. Everyone can play. You know, you're not eliminating some that are just learning or don't have much experience. Your bench is pretty deep.
Your benches are like, you can argue at times with Macy Jerome, Emily Coe, some of these players, Kay Reed, that this bench could compete for the #1 spot in this league. If you were to remove, Grace and Haley, obviously we are biased and we'll tell you that we believe they're the 2 best players in the gym. But we're going to get a timeout here from Priest River. But you look at this bench, Olivia Sawyer's played big minutes. Bren Eichsenberger, from what I saw the other night, is a very capable passer.
Yeah, she filled some pretty tough gaps in the last couple of matches and came up with some balls as well.
Faith Bryant is as long and has good timing, just like Haley Cheney. I really do feel, I wonder, behind closed doors, those practices where they get to scrimmage one another and go at one another, I wonder what those look like. I picture it being very similar to that secret scrimmage that happened between the Dream Team.
Okay, I see where you're going there.
And as soon as
the level of competition is there. It's not one side beating up on the other. It's going to be there's some pride involved, right?
Yeah, and I imagine it going all 5 sets, and then I imagine the losing team going, let's go best of 7.
Sure. You know where I thought you were going with that? That's an interesting story here. While the Wildcats are up 16-7, looking to close this out, 17-7. I thought you were going with, I used to run this, it's still up, but I used to, before Facebook, I used to run this KHS Grads bulletin board. And Lawrence Scrafford would come because his dad worked for the newspaper.
Yep.
And he told a story about the 56 or 57 basketball team.
Was it one of the ones that got one of those banners?
Yes. They won 2, I believe.
So 59 or 55 and 56.
Yes. And that included Wombolts and Nearings, speaking of Nearings. And the rumor was that it wasn't a rumor, they scrimmaged Wazoo.
Like on their way down to like a tournament or a state tournament or a game or something, stopped off in Pullman.
And played in some closed to the public gym and just got after it.
I heard a couple of years ago too, and I we've never heard the answer to this, but it was 2 years ago, and I think it was the same year that the NCAA tournament got canceled. But in the early season, Gonzaga and Baylor had a secret scrimmage that nobody was allowed to be a part of. Now, I don't know how well that went for our locals.
Right.
Just as evidence going off of the national championship game last year.
Right.
But no, when you have such a deep level of talented players, the competition, I mean, you have Emily Coe and Grace Nearing. If you stood them right next to each other and looked at them, you wouldn't be able to tell who is who.
Yep.
So, and then Faith Bryant might not be the hitter that Haley Cheney is, but she's long enough and tall enough and strong enough to meet Haley at the net.
Yep.
I mean,
and knows her tendencies
and it's ripe. I would be interested in watching that and even calling that scrimmage.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
That would be, I think, very fun.
And as you look forward, the Wildcats, we've got districts ahead of us and state hopefully, but next year, I see Maddie Cheney being one of those that's going to step up and fill her sister's shoes. She's shown obvious signs of being at that level, and she's still young, So as she matures and gets stronger, she's going to fill in that gap. You mentioned Coe taking the torch from Nearing. I don't know that they're going to take a huge step down.
Macy Jerome. Macy Jerome is an incredible
Absolutely.
athlete. I think, we are going to be replacing 2 players that on paper are going to look irreplaceable, but we have to take a line from Principal Kurt Randall Bear. We have the horses in the hallways.
Oh, we have the horses in the hallways. Yeah,
that was a good line. It resonated with me because we just have such a dearth of talent.
I'll show my lean on this a little bit. We've been discussing the 2A, 3A right now, and 2 years ago, and our last bunch of numbers have put Kellogg, right smack dab at the 2A level. And we've been talking about this school punching above its weight class. Being around the 300 mark in 3A is the smallest 3A school in the state of Idaho.
Yep.
And we've been to state. We've held our own. I'm not guaranteeing we would win a bunch of state titles. It's not how things work. 2A is cutthroat. It's amazing.
You step into a whole other realm of schools.
But I'd love to see how we stack up with some of those schools.
I mean, we are so juxtaposed because here we are at one end of the spectrum, and at the other end of the spectrum sits a school that's located up in Spirit Lake, who is at times the biggest or second biggest 3A school in the state. Yep. And, for the last couple years, we've beaten them at basketball, we've beaten them at volleyball. They get us in football. They have a talented football program and the numbers to back it up. We get them in golf. They get us in track. But again, it's the numbers game. Any sport that requires a surplus of numbers, that seems to be where we struggle. It really is where we struggle.
Where you need volume.
Yes.
It's tough to have volume when you only have 300 kids. And you look across the football field and there's 20 kids on the sideline and we have 5 that are suited.
Yep. Yeah, when you're going, just put this arm back in place because we can't afford for my elbow to be dislocated,
Yeah, right. Like my Uncle Pete, for a few years. Uncle Pete, he came up and joined us, but he coached 8-man football for a Christian school over in Western Washington. And he said there were times where he's just like, can you got a kid kind of gimped up, and he only had 8 guys. And when you play 8-man football, that means if somebody gets hurt, you're down a guy. So he would just have to duct tape and baling wire and keep guys on the field so he could field a team.
Yeah, you're snapping the ball tonight, and that's all you're doing.
I don't know what's going on down on the court, Josh. We had a raucous cheer by some of the football players here and grabbing the megaphone, working with the cheerleaders. That was pretty amazing. And now it must be a substitution thing or something, but now we are getting into some subbing. But Coach Batchelder was talking to the side judge down there. I'm not sure what the deal is.
Seems to be in good spirits. Wildcats with a pretty commanding lead right now. So the Wildcats can afford some errors and even maybe learn a lesson or two here that could be valuable going forward.
Unless it's been discovered that the Wildcats have had an illegal rotation for the last 2 matches and they must vacate.
And
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that would happen, but stranger things have happened. And now Crystal Luna approaching the bench.
We are really working through the process here. And I think, are we getting it?
They did get a point.
Yeah.
There is a point for some sort of illegal substitution or substitution penalty.
Maybe Ty and Buck can get us some, as the crow sits on top of the score table there, maybe we can get some information.
Maybe that we better learn sign language.
The students are getting restless, Josh.
Yeah.
They want to see some volleyball. This is what happens, Josh. This is the teacher in me. I'm stressed out right now. This is what happens when you're teaching your class and you got an engaging lesson and everyone's kind of learning, and then you get interrupted and you have to go somewhere, or whatever, and you lose their attention because these guys are.
I believe I heard it. It's Miller time chant.
We've got Gabe Jenisic up here, lead trumpet. He is not going to let things just simmer here. He's going to keep it at a fever pitch. While he's not cranking out tunes on his trumpet, he's getting the crowd going again. So,
I believe the line is, the peasants are revolting.
Hey, 2013, 2-0. We're in the 3rd set. Wildcats looking to close this out.
Surprised we haven't gotten an I believe that we will win chant.
Yeah. Well, there's no more Sweet Caroline. I can't say that I'm not super. I don't miss that too much, and I wasn't a huge fan of the gong either because I thought another school already did the gong.
Timberlake has a gong.
Yeah, it's like, well, we didn't. I mean, it was fun, but we needed our own thing. How many other schools sing an alma mater at the end of their game and then include their alumni and student body and athletes? I think our band needs to work on the timing of that a little bit. Although during COVID times, we don't do a handshake. Or we haven't been. They do a
Not in
little
volleyball.
wave.
They do them in football. Volleyball is like one of the few sports that they don't do it in. We did it in basketball at the end of the year as things kind of transition.
But I've noticed, you usually would give your team a little bit of a chance to, the coach, you give a cheer to the other team, shake of the hand or whatever, and then you come back. And our band is getting right into that alma mater, which is great, but it's not giving our team kind of a chance to breathe.
And there really is.
Coach them up on that.
We're at like 5 minutes now of no play.
Yeah, this is
and
interesting.
whatever the error was that happened, it must have been substantial.
It must have been a hitch in the rotation, and they're trying to get it worked out right now and still haven't figured out the right combination and permutation.
So they're going to make them play through. Now
so here they are. There we go. It's a visual.
They've awarded them a point. It's going to be Priest Rivers serve.
I guess this is the recreation of the lineup and issue, and I still see the scores table feverishly looking at the official book. We're going to get to play some volleyball. Now we're going to get a sub. It's going to be Olivia Sawyer for Pipkin. Now let's make sure we're good here. I have no idea what's going on.
So we actually lost a point, too. So they gave a point. They took a point from Kellogg.
And gave
a point to Priest River.
Which seems, if it was that egregious of a rotation violation, it seems like we got off pretty lightly.
And that we likely have been doing it all game long.
It seems to me like it's something that's been kind of happening, and we're just going to fix it. Uh-oh. We just lost another point. So 19-13.
Oh, a 2-point deduction.
Wow.
Oh!
We're back to playing, back to playing volleyball.
That was some street volleyball right there. Little back set into a punch. And another one, Emily Coe off the back foot, and that's out.
Oh.
And dare I say it, the referees have changed the momentum.
Yeah, they have. I mean,
uh-oh.
That's going to give us a little bit of a reprieve there.
That one.
That's Madeline Rose, and she's had a couple of good serves, but she's hit a couple long as well.
I think Madeline knew as soon as that one came off her hand, that was not going her way.
That was OB.
Uh-oh. Coffee is for closers, Simon.
Boy, that's almost that was almost too good of a serve because it got dug up and then almost out of bounds back here, and I don't think Olivia was ready for that.
Is it Glengarry, Glen Ross?
Yes, I was just going to say, good poll. Glengarry, Glen Ross, coffees for closers.
ABC, always be closing. Possibly one of the greatest movie beginnings of all time. Oh, Grace Nearing went up.
Is that Pacino?
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin.
I believe Alec Baldwin. I believe.
I just watched that about a year ago.
I believe it's oh man, now I can't remember. It's been a while since I watched it. I was in sales for a while, and all the sales managers would be like, "Coffee is for closers," so they'd bring you, they'd bring like Starbucks gift cards as like sales.
Oh yeah,
incentives.
Pacino. Yep. So Baldwin, Pacino, Lemon. Oh, Jack Lemmon, he's great in that. Ed Harris, Kevin Spacey.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah.
Canceled.
Yeah. That's going to be pretty much everybody's eventually, I think.
That's possible.
Yeah, that's a great flick.
It is a good one. It's kind
of long. It gets long.
It's very neo taste specific.
Right.
If you can get down on like a Tarantino, you're gonna really enjoy Glengarry Glen Ross.
Yep.
Reservoir Dogs vibes for that one.
Yes. 2015, ladies and gentlemen, we are still working out rotation issues. I have no idea. I'm not even going to speculate.
Yeah, I might be tempted to text Coach Batchelder tonight, though.
Yeah, say, what's going on with that?
Like, yeah, hey, can you explain to me what happened here? Wildcats leading 20-15. This is the most points they've given up in this match, and realistically, a lot of it has to do with what's happened in the last 10 minutes of non-play. Emily Coe.
Nice hit there by Bryant and nice block by Coe and Bryant at the net there. They both kind of were right there, and it was Coe that did the damage. And she's rewarded by coming out of
Cheney has a very difficult to handle serve.
She's got the southpaw.
Oh, no.
Bit of retrograde on this.
Okay, I thought we were coming out to get another substitution out of there.
Gosh.
I was like, oh boy. This is turning into a
keep
5-set time.
Let's play on.
Hit over the net by the Spartans there. Set by Maddie Cheney and Macy Jerome with a little dump set there. Punched over the net. Libero. Grace Nearing chases it down. Elliott high. Hustle play from Elliott. Decent hit. Maddie Cheney's right there. Grace Nearing and hit out.
Yeah, Grace just kind of tapped it right into her and made her prove it. That's kind of a prove it ball right there.
Wildcats retain possession, 22-15 now. Wildcats would have had this one done in under an hour, I believe, if we hadn't had that limit. Elliott high, that was
Matrix-esque.
Incredible how she did that, but I do believe it was called in. So
it was. It got down
it
real
was close.
quick. It was a great shot.
It was close. We've got a back massage train now happening in the student section.
Oh, well, that's well, it's football players, so I think they're getting limbered up for tomorrow night at on the road at the Timberlake Tigers. That's
playing for a
always
district
tough one.
championship
You
tomorrow.
betcha. Yeah.
Both teams still have one more game, but I think it's a formality for both. Oh.
So who does Timberlake play? Bonners?
Timberlake will play Bonners next week, and Kellogg will play Priest River. And Wildcats played a pretty competitive one against Bonners.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That was a tough road trip.
Got a little, got some favorable laundry in that game.
Lots of penalty situations.
Oh, little miscommunication there. And
we are at set and match point, Josh.
The Wildcats are about to put the stamp on another complete Intermountain League
clean slate.
There
we go. There it is.
There it is. Your
Congratulations, Wildcats.
Undefeated Intermountain League champions. They will now move on to the District 1 champions as the top seed. And we're going to take a quick second to let you guys enjoy the alma mater. Welcome back. Josh McDonald, Simon Miller, Wildcats wrap up Priest River in 3.
Boy, if that fight song and that alma mater doesn't give you goosebumps, I don't know what's gonna.
Yeah. So we will now move on to district play, which I believe begins next Wednesday.
Yep.
Here at Andrews Gymnasium. We will be on the air. I believe it is still undecided who the Wildcats will be playing. They will be playing
the 4th seed, right?
So the 4 and 5 seed will play on Tuesday night in a loser-out match. So I believe they will either be playing Coeur d'Alene Charter or Bonner or Priest River.
Priest River.
So for Simon Miller, I am Josh McDonald. We will see you next Wednesday. Thanks for stopping by.
Go Cats.